And we are live. Welcome everybody to a special Aerospace Education Live tonight. We are going to be working a relatively short lesson tonight. This isn't going to be like one of these long hour-long ones. It's probably be about half an hour. We're going to do a short video presentation, and then we are going to be doing a little quick hands-on lesson. Hands-on lesson that I am probably going to fail miserably at. So one thing, do me a favor, let me know in the chat box if you can hear me okay. It seems like the audio is okay. If I'm too loud or too soft, do me a favor, just let me know. Also, there is a 30-second delay. So when you send a message, I will see it immediately. Even if I were to respond immediately, you won't see that response for 30 seconds. All right, I see Rachel saying they hear me. Great. Awesome. All right, couple quick housekeeping things here. You're going to need, if you want to do the hands-on lesson, you're going to need a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I got a couple of construction pieces of paper. If you want to drive to my house real quick, I'll throw you one. But otherwise, use just a regular piece of paper at home. That's fine. Awesome. Great. Sound pretty good. Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. When we go to throw the videos on, let me know as well if you can hear that. I'm nervous. I have a brand new setup for the audio for the video, so it may or may not work. We have to troubleshoot it. All right. So with that, let's start. All right. So many of you know, you've heard about the James Webb Telescope. So the James Webb Telescope is really groundbreaking. It has been one of NASA's top priorities for a super long time. And here's the difference. With the Hubble Space Telescope, and actually I can show you an image of the Hubble Space Telescope over here. Hang on. Hey, look at this. This is my little Lego set. And there's the Lego of the Hubble Telescope inside the space shuttle. So this is what has been rotating and orbiting around the Earth for now. And that Hubble Space Telescope can see about, give or take, 100 million years in the past. So the amount of time it takes for light to travel through space and get to us, the Hubble Space Telescope can see, give or take, about 100 million years ago. The difference with the James Webb Telescope is it's going to be able to see about 13 billion years ago. They're saying 13.6. They're saying literally right after the formation of the universe, the James Webb Telescope is going to be able to peer that far in advance, which makes sense in some regards. Think about, 30 years ago, what did you have for a cell phone? You didn't have a cell phone. So think about how much technology has come along just in the last little bit. And so not only that, the James Webb Telescope is quite a bit bigger. And so we're going to talk today about folding and unfolding of the James Webb Telescope. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide here. All right, so this is going to give you a little bit of a size comparison between the Hubble Space Telescope and the James Webb. One of the things you'll notice is that, from a telescope perspective, and those of you that want to get more into telescopes, you can see right there, we've got a whole bunch of telescopes in the back room. That's actually one of our signature lessons I can come to your squadron to do, is a lesson on telescopes once we get back in person. But you'll see here, really it's the mirror. It's the size of the mirror that matters, right? So we've got 2.4 meter diameter for the Hubble, and the James Webb is 6.6. Now, it's not just, 2.5 times, right? It is pi r squared. So, the James Webb can see a lot more than the Hubble telescope. All right. So here's the other nice thing about the James Webb. The Hubble telescope, right, to my point earlier, it had to fly on this thing. It had to fly with my hands. There it is. It had to fly on this thing. It had to fly on the space shuttle. The space shuttle could only fly in low Earth orbit. It couldn't fly, way past the moon. It couldn't go to the moon. It couldn't go past the moon. It can only go to low Earth orbit, where all the satellites are. So the Webb telescope doesn't have that problem. It actually is way past the moon. The Hubble Space Telescope is at 570 kilometers, and the moon is at 385, give or take, 1,000 kilometers. And the James Webb is 1.5 million kilometers out to what we call L2. And it's going to do a circular orbit, and we'll talk about that in a second, but it's going to do a circular orbit out in L2, and it's going to hang out at L2 past the Earth. It's always going to stay kind of how the moon is kind of locked, how the moon, is locked to the Earth. Webb will be locked to the Earth as well. It's just going to be really far out, so it's not going to have any of the issues with being close to the Earth. Okay, go here. Okay, and here you can see the actual orbit. So instead of it launching and going around the Earth, it went out almost like it was going to the moon, right? It's going out, and then it's kind of curving a little bit, and it's going way, way, way out. And while it's going out, it's going to take a while to get there, it's going to start deploying, right? That's the whole point of this lesson. We're going to talk about how it's packed and how it's going to deploy. And then when it gets all the way out to where it's going to go, it's actually going to refire its boosters, and it's going to go into its own orbit around L2, which is locked to the Earth. Now, here's a couple of issues with that. If you're on going back to my space shuttle here, if you had a problem with the Hubble, you could send out, at the time when we had the space shuttle, you could send out the space shuttle to go fix it. And they did have to go fix it. Now, with the Webb telescope, they can't go fix it. This is a one or done thing. So it has to work. They've been working on this for about 20 years now, and it's got to work. It also only has so much fuel on it. So they can only do so much, repositioning of the James Webb Telescope, James Webb Space Telescope, I should say, before it'll run out of fuel. And then you're toast in the water too. So as you can tell, this is a far more dangerous project than even the Hubble Space Telescope was. So many things that can go wrong. Okay. All right. Now, this is the size, and I know it's hard you don't have anything really to compare it against because this is a really massive room. But this is the size of the James Webb Telescope. It is massive. You'll see in some of the other videos we're going to show in a second, this thing is huge. And this will not fit in this. So this has to go in to this. So this is the Ariane 5 rocket. We can't use SpaceX. It's not big enough. So the fairing isn't a big enough launch. So we had to use Ariane 5. And the Ariane 5 has had an incredible launch record as well. This James Webb Telescope, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but it is $10 billion. So if this thing were to blow up on launch or just shake it so badly on launch that something broke, $10 billion. So in 20 years, it's actually almost a bigger issue, the fact that it's 20 years it took them to build this thing. All right. So now how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to do it by folding it up. So this is going to wrap up into this. And this is what's going to actually go into the rocket. Now, we see this a lot with a lot of our spacecraft. A lot of our spacecraft are too big to fit into the storage areas of the fairings, what we call the fairings. So if we go here, see if you can see you can't see my mouse, but the very top, you'll see where it says fairing. If you were at my house, you'd see me circling with a mouse, but you don't see my mouse. But that real top part, that's the fairing. That's where it's got to fit into. So now this thing, it's going to get shot up in a rocket. It's going to get shaken all over the place. It's going to get lobbed out of this rocket, and then it has to unfold itself. And then it's going to travel to 1.5 million kilometers away from the Earth. Another rocket's going to fire, and it's going to enter another orbit. And oh, by the way, the precision on those mirrors is 1/10,000th the width of a human hair. Just think about that. 1/10,000th of a human hair is the precision of those mirrors. So all that has to happen in order for this thing to work right. All right. So in there, we can get a quick little CGI representation of how it's going to be after the fairings deploy. All right. And I think I got a quick video. I wanted to show you guys how this thing actually unfolds itself. But I've actually found a video that did a really, really good job of that. It's all CGI. We'll have a quick video of this thing launching for real life after that. But I think it's about 12 minutes long. So let's just watch it because it did a really nice job. And I am going to really need you guys to tell me if you don't hear the audio. If you don't hear the audio, I'm going to do something old school and put the speaker next to a microphone, or put the microphone next to a speaker. But hopefully you guys will hear it.
As the sun rises over the Guiana Space Center, the team conducts final checks on the health and status of the Ariane 5 rocket and its payload. The James Webb Space Telescope, NASA's #1 science priority. The Webb Telescope is designed to look back to a time when stars and galaxies were first forming, over 13.5 billion years ago. With its revolutionary design and capabilities, the Webb Telescope is about to unleash a new dawn of discovery.
À tous de vidéo, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8.
Seconds before liftoff, the Ariane 5's liquid-fueled engine comes to full power, followed by the ignition of the 2 solid rockets. We have liftoff. The Webb Telescope is finally on its way, the result of years of study and development by thousands of team members in the United States, Canada, and Europe. Webb's spacecraft ascends nearly vertically through the heavy lower atmosphere of Earth. As the rocket reaches maximum acceleration, the spent solid rocket motors are jettisoned safely into the Atlantic Ocean. Reaching the upper atmosphere where protection is no longer needed, the payload fairing is jettisoned and falls away. Accelerating through the atmosphere, the Ariane 5 rocket's first stage expends its fuel and shuts down. The empty first stage then separates from the upper stage. After first stage separation and before second stage ignition, the Webb Telescope has a slightly downward trajectory as it speeds over the Atlantic Ocean. The upper stage motor ignites and the ascent to L2 resumes, never again to be interrupted. The exposed telescope is delicate and must be protected from the sun's fierce heat. To avoid overheating and damage, a carefully designed series of oscillations are performed that provide the necessary protection. Near the end of powered flight, the roll program stops and the launcher then assumes the proper attitude for separation. After separation from the Ariane upper stage, the Webb Telescope continues its journey to L2 under its own power, taking the next step to its final orbital station 1 million miles from Earth. The Webb Telescope is about to unleash a new dawn of discovery. The Webb Telescope separates from the launcher's second stage. The white ring close to the Earth represents the Hubble Space Telescope's orbit, and the larger orbit is the geosynchronous orbit where most telecommunications satellites are located. The solar array is Webb's first deployment. When completed, all of Webb's electrical power needs are satisfied by the solar array for the remainder of the mission. The onboard control system continually monitors and updates the attitude to ensure power generation and thermal safety. To preserve the cleanliness of the mirrors, thrusters are located only on the sunlit side of the observatory. The trajectory is designed without employing a retrofire, which necessitates pointing the delicate telescope at the sun. If course corrections are needed, these velocity additions must be done early in the flight to most efficiently use the mission's limited precious fuel. After completing mid-course corrections, the Webb telescope passes the orbit of the Moon. Webb's initial transformation is the deployment of the sun shield pallets. The tower separating the telescope and instruments from the spacecraft and sun shield is next. Next, the aft flap deploys. This is key to managing momentum buildup and fuel consumption. This structure helps to balance the pressure from the sun's light on the Webb telescope around its center of mass. After the sun shield pallets reach their final positions, the membrane launch restraints are released. These have kept the sun shield membrane safely in place from final stowage at the Northrop Grumman facility in California through shipment and launch. The sun shield protective covers roll back, permitting membrane deployment. The covers over the core region release next. Then the mid-booms extend and the sun shield assumes its hexagonal tennis court-sized shape. It is now time to tension the sun shield membranes, each thinner than a human hair, pulling each of the uniquely sized and shaped layers to their optimal position. When deployed, the sun shield allows the telescope to cool to 385 degrees Fahrenheit below zero, cold enough to liquefy air, while the layer closest to the sun is almost 190 degrees Fahrenheit above zero, nearly the boiling point of water. It's of almost 600 degrees. Truly fire and ice. Once in the shadow of the deployed sun shield, the telescope and instruments continue cooling down to their final operational cryogenic temperatures. At the completion of membrane tensioning, the secondary mirror deploys into position and is latched rigidly in place. The aft deployable radiator releases and springs into position, allowing the instruments to radiate their waste heat directly into space and away from the telescope. Disposing of excess heat is crucial to the mission so that it does not overwhelm the faint infrared signals to be collected from the cosmos. The cord-fold wings deploy and latch in place, completing the major deployments of the largest telescope in space. As the Webb telescope continues out to its operational orbit around the Sun-Earth L2, the observatory continues to cool down to its final cryogenic temperature state. A trajectory correction applied 29 days after launch puts the Webb telescope into its halo orbit, a key part of the mission design. The Sun-Earth L2 point is where Webb's orbit around the Sun is synchronized with Earth's. At this point, 1 million miles from Earth, Webb is free from the thermal influences of the Earth and all eclipses. Additionally, the Sun, Earth, and Moon, the brightest objects in the sky, are hidden by the deployed sun shield, giving Webb a dark, cold, and stable environment to carry out its mission of discovery. Once the mirrors and detectors are sufficiently cold, the wavefront sensing and control operations can begin. This sophisticated multi-step operation's ultimate goal is to position each of the Webb telescope's movable mirrors into their correct final positions and orientations. Once the mirrors are aligned, the mission team will continue checking out the science instruments, preparing them for operations. Commissioning is completed about 160 days after launch, and the science mission is ready to begin. This brings to fruition the work of the thousands of members of the Webb team from the United States of America, Canada, and Europe. Astronomers from all over the world can now use this facility to study the universe. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope is a game changer. Discoveries made by this observatory will rewrite textbooks, inspiring the next generation of future engineers and scientists. This revolutionary tool will provide an unprecedented view into the birth of the first stars and galaxies, unleashing a new dawn of discovery.
All right. So, yeah, like I said, there's a 30-second delay. So, Nathan, I'm seeing your message. Am I the only person thinking space, the final frontier? Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. Here's a couple things, right? We are looking at something that has been in design for the last 20 years, right? It was thought of even before then, but it's been in design for the last 20 years. It is now the cadets. It is now going to be the folks, your generation. You're going to be the ones who are going to decide how to use this thing the best. Hopefully you're going to get, 20 to 30 years of unbelievable science with this thing. And just in case anybody's wondering, everything's about 100, right? So it's the Hubble Space Telescope could see about 100 million years ago, light traveling. This will be able to see, give or take, 13 to 13.5 billion with a B years away, right to the beginning of the start of the universe after the Big Bang or whatever happened. And the other thing that's 100 is, in case you were wondering, how much more powerful is it than the Hubble Space Telescope? They're estimating it to be right around a little over 100 times as powerful as the Hubble Space Telescope. It also, and even more so than that, the Hubble Space Telescope didn't even have some of the instruments that this has. So this instrument will be able to see into the core of our galaxy. The Hubble Space Telescope has a significant problem with that. So anyways, I was watching this whole thing and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, think about how many parts there are. Think about the engineering, the science. We've never done something like this before, right? Thousands of people, just one person makes one mistake and this thing doesn't work. And you can't go fix it. And there's not a second one. They didn't build 2 or 3 of these in case it didn't work. They built one. So, we are now, it's going out. I don't know if it's in the video, but in June of this year is when the engineering side of it kind of finishes. It'll be where it needs to be. It'll be cold enough for its instruments, and then the science can begin. So anybody wants to know, hey, when are we going to see our first pictures from this thing? It'll be sometime in June, assuming everything works right. Let's see here. All right, so that is that. Let me show you a quick video, really quick. It's like a minute, 2 minutes. And I'll show you a quick video of the actual launch. And obviously that was all CGI. That happened before the actual thing took off.
Unité, top.
And we have engine start. And
Allumage
liftoff.
EAP, décollage.
Decollage, liftoff from a tropical rainforest to the edge of time itself James Webb begins a voyage back to the birth of the universe. Punching a hole through the clouds, 20 seconds into the flight, good pitch program reported.
Trajectoire est nominale.
Vehicle performance is nominal. The Ariane 5 rocket continues.
All right, I'll stop it there. It's a good thing we had the CGI video because it was cloudy that day, and they didn't really get a good video of it too far up. But anyways, it made it. It was successful. Hooray! Now we get to talk about the unfolding. All right, and we're gonna do this during hands-on. Again, one thing I want to point out: I can see your messages about 30 seconds before you will hear me respond to your messages. There's a 30-second delay between when it's live and when you're seeing it. So if you have any questions, feel free, ask away. We are going to do a little bit of origami. So yeah, play Rocket Man, no doubt. Just don't do it on my live stream because the video will get flagged and taken down. But anyway, so let's do that. So what I would like is if you have any questions about the James Webb Space Telescope. I am not an expert. I will do my best to answer. If I need to, I will go out and research it, and I will come back and get you an answer later on. But go ahead, feel free to ask any questions. All right. And as I like to say always, everything that I have said today might just in fact be wrong, and I think that that's fantastic. That is the way science is. Science doesn't pretend to know everything. It doesn't pretend to tell you what's right and wrong. If anybody tells you science says what's right and wrong, that is not what science says. Science tests theories based on hypothesis. Things are only right until another hypothesis is proven to be more right and then proves the other thing to be wrong. So everything I just told you might be wrong. All right. That's always my catch-all for AE. All right. So that's it for that. So let's go to our hands-on lesson. I'm going to be going back and forth, trying to keep an eye on that. Let me get here. Let's see, don't save. I'm going to close this out. All right, let's see here. Hey, that actually works out good. Look at that. So took me a while to figure out how to make this work. Right, science is testable. If that's a really, really good point. If you can't test it, it's an opinion. It's not science. So, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean science is right or wrong. But if it's not testable, it's not science. If you can't make a hypothesis that you can test, then it's a theory. That's all it is. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Everybody likes my space shuttle. I honestly, if anybody's into Lego, this thing is awesome. It's a really, really great Lego set. Let me go put it back. Oh. All right. I like my space Legos. I got the Saturn V up there too. Okay. Now, let's see here. We got our paper. I did not, on purpose, I did not try to build this before this thing, because if we're gonna fail, let's fail together. So go ahead and take your piece of paper. Actually, I can do it over here. Let me move my microphone over here. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me good. All right. Let's see here. So what we're gonna do? Let me bring on the screen. Look at that. High quality. This is a high quality production here. We don't mess around. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to build this thing. The first thing you're going to notice is that we have something that is, a regular piece of, Thank you very much, Bats. That's I do. I love that. That's one of my favorite Legos that they've got. So we are going to need to take this and make this into a square. So the way you do that is you just fold it over like this onto itself. I don't know how exacting this has to be, but so we're gonna do this And then now this area is the square. So I gotta take this. And if you can do this faster than me, go for it. You don't have to wait for me to tell you the steps. I'm trying to put them up on the screen at the same time. Okay, so now that gets this. Now if you had scissors, you could probably do this a little bit easier with scissors. Let's see here, we take that, and we're going to, let's see if we can make this into a square. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right. So let me know in the chat box, what are some of the things that you would like or you would hope that the James Webb Space Telescope can find out? And I'll tell you, this is where scissors would be better. Like I said, I'm all about failure is always an option. I missed a little spot there. So, all right, get rid of that. One of the things that James Webb Telescope is going to be able to do is it's going to be able to tell from exoplanets. I don't know how big the planet has to be or what it can do, but it'll actually be able to tell the composition of the atmosphere. So it'll be able to tell, hey, this atmosphere, it's got oxygen, it's got nitrogen, it's got carbon dioxide, it's got methane, whatever. And you can start making some suggestions and some thoughts about, hey, this planet may have the ingredients for life. Find out how warm it is, find out how cold it is. Not to mention the fact this thing's going to be able to find so many more planets than we can find now. Okay, with that said. Now, what's it saying I got to do here? And I got the square. So it says fold it in half. Well, we kind of already did that, right? When we were making the square. So we've got it in half. By the way, we're making a bird. I figure it's aerospace, so I figured a bird's a good thing. We'll see how complicated this is. It came up as the easy bird, so we'll see if it's easy. All right. So step 2, fold the paper in half by folding the top corner to the bottom corner. So it's gonna face you. The point end's gonna be towards you. You should have an upside down triangle. All right, we're good there. I wanna see the supposed supernova of the star called Betelgeuse. That'd be pretty sweet. I'm not even sure what that is. I'd have to take a look for that. All right. Step 3, fold part of the top down so that the edge is about halfway down. Don't make this flap too thin because this will become its wings. All right, so fold part of the top down so the edge is about halfway down. All right, they're saying don't make it too thin. So, all right, so that's about halfway there. Let's see. That's about right. That's about halfway. All right. Doppler shift, yeah, that's very cool stuff. I have a book. Hang on. This is why I like live streams. Hang on. All right, I'm back. All right. We've got 2 books. If you do the astronomy lesson with me, there's 2 books that I like to recommend. If you're an AEO out there, let's see if I can use it here. This is Astronomy, a self-teaching guide. If you're a cadet and wants to learn more, this is a super good book. I've actually spoken to the author. And then this is kind of like the go-to book if you're just learning more about our universe, done by National Geographic, by James. Really, really fantastic. Tons of incredible information, beautiful pictures. All right, back to this. All right, so we've got this. Step 4, turn the paper over. So now it's going to be like this, so the folded side is facing us. Step 5, take the bottom corner of the top layer and fold it up like this. So it is saying, it looks like it's about halfway up the wing. So like that. So you got little triangles on each side. I don't know if you all can see that okay. Let's see here. So it looks like you go like this, and then you just do it that way. You're not going all the way to the edge. You're going about halfway up. Let's see here. Yeah, what'd be even cooler is to actually be able to see one of those planets orbiting one of the nearest stars. All right, this next step looks tough. Step 6. Fold the figure in half by folding the left side over to the right. All right, maybe that's not so hard. All right, so we're going to take this, and we're going to basically fold this on top of itself like that. All right, and then we're going to try to make these the parts on the top and bottom points, make sure those are equal. Has anybody else failed miserably yet? I feel like when this gets done, it's not gonna look anything like a bird. All right, let's see. Well, it's a little bit off already, I can tell. All right, let's see. All right, we've got it. Step 7. There's not that many steps. We've only got 10 steps, so we're already on step 7. Now, fold that same flap back like this to make one of the wings. All right, so what's it doing? It's like halfway through that diagonal. It looks like you gotta fold it to like there about. Maybe about there. So let's see if we can do that. Does that look right? So I wish I didn't have the 30-second delay, because somebody could yell at me, no, you're doing it wrong. So I think that looks about right, right? I think so. Let's see here. All right, fold the other wing back too. All right, so they're saying we got to take this and we're going to fold this like this, I think. Let's see. I was never the arts and crafts kid in school. So I think that's right. Oh, I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it. All right. Number 9. Oh, this one's hard to figure out. Paper cut time. Yeah. We didn't do a safety briefing about paper cuts. That's pretty funny. We're just, oh, look at that. We're just winging it. Push the center of the head in and flatten. All right. I'm assuming these are the wings, and I'm assuming this is the head. So it's saying take this and push. Oh, I see it. I see it. It's saying push that down. Oh, I see it. Man, if my engineering job doesn't work out, I could go become a second grade arts teacher. I missed my calling in life. All right, so we got that. And ta-da, you have a bird. Do we have a bird? Hey, let's. I'm gonna do an extra step. Does it say to bend the wings? It does not. But you know, we had a big piece of paper. So it's, hang on, let's see here. That's its beak. Let me see. Well, it's not a complete train wreck. I missed a step. Yeah, I might have missed a step too. Let's see. Let's give it little eyes. Hang on. We'll give it a little eye there. We'll give it a little smile. I'll do one over here so you can see it. A little smile. All right. there's the bird. The origami bird. So origami, now this is obviously super, super simple. I actually want to bend the wing a little bit. I feel like that wing should be bent. So we're gonna do our own thing. All right? Hang on, you can see it. This is so lame. But anyways, this is the last step. I'll go back through the beginning and just show the steps again. Not doing it, but I'll show you the. I made a duck. Yeah, I don't even know what I made, but but it is what it is. That's too funny. All right, maybe it was better off without the wings bent. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's probably better off without wings. That's all right. Let me go back to this other screen so you guys can see me. Like, what you really want to do is to see me anyways. Mine flew. Yay. I don't know. Does it work? Let's see. Let's see if I can throw it back here. Let's see. No, didn't fly at all. Mine failed miserably. All right. So let's, I'll go through these steps real quick, and then I think we'll wrap it up. I hope you all enjoyed it. There's only so much we can do. Now, if we are still doing this next month, let me get my microphone back so you guys can hear me better. If we're still doing this next month, what I want to do is I actually want to do something more hands-on. like pretty much no PowerPoint presentation, no videos, no nothing, all hands on. What I'm going to be doing, Stubby Quail, what I'm going to be doing is putting together a parts list. I'm going to try to make it as efficiently money-wise as possible, make it as cheap as possible. So maybe the squadrons get together and they make little go kits that for all the cadets, or maybe the cadets just go out on their own and get the supplies. If it's a bird, it's a plane, it's origami. That's right. So I want to try to do something a little bit more just straight hands-on. I know you guys are all just completely sick of these video lessons. It's what we got to work with for now. So hopefully we'll get you guys, more hands-on stuff. And then, for the AEOs out there, I've been telling them, as soon as we're back in full force after this wave is over with, I want us all hands-on. No PowerPoints. Guest speakers can come on a different day. I want everybody to be hands-on with activities. All right. With that, if you have any questions, I'll scroll up here through the beginning steps again, just in case you wanted to kind of see it. But I'm going to wait here. Do you guys have any questions? Anything that you guys are interested in? And unfortunately, there's a 30-second delay. So 30 seconds for you to hear me say this, and then 30 seconds for me to respond to what you say. So there's about a minute in between. Let's see. Actually, I can text. Let me text. Let's see. Any questions? And we can do the text messaging. All right. So we had the fold, and then the step 3. I'll scroll real slowly so you guys can see this all. I'll go ahead, when this video is up online, if you're seeing this after the fact, after it was live, I'll go ahead and put in the links to 2 things. Northrop Grumman's video that we shared, I'm going to put a link to that, and I'll put a link to the directions for this origami. So I made a mini bird too. Yay. All right, not seeing any questions. I'll give you guys 30 more seconds, maybe another minute. I'll give you another minute. And then I'll scroll down here a little bit further. And then we'll wrap it up. We'll make this one kind of quick. It's still 45 minutes. It's not too quick. I didn't do a good job on that step 9. Let me go get my thing back. Let's see. That's where I failed. I failed on step 9. Don't forget to email. Okay, yes, thank you. I'll say this out loud in case some folks aren't seeing the chat history. Captain Mercer mentioned, it's nice that you are saying, hey, I'm so-and-so and I'm here, but that is not what's actually going to get you credit. You need to send an email to Captain Mercer and copy one other person. I think that's what the instructions were. So please go ahead and do that if you want credit. One thing I'm going to ask for all of you to do, this is kind of like the official, unofficial AE channel. We're trying to grow it. We're over 1,500 subscribers now, so that's pretty great. I'm pretty happy about that. And right now we have, what do we have? We have 40 people watching on YouTube. I've got 37 people watching on Facebook, and I've got almost 300 some odd people watching out there on Twitch. The YouTube folks are probably mostly CAP people, and the people that are Facebook and Twitch are probably mostly not CAP people. So with that, I also just want to quickly say, this isn't like a big blown production that we're doing here at CAP. This was just a quick little thing that we're doing for our cadets, since we can't meet in person at the moment. But if you are interested in learning more about Civil Air Patrol, I want you to visit gocivilairpatrol.com. I can put that up on here. Actually, it's not on here. Yeah, it is right there. Okay. Gocivilairpatrol.com. That's where you're going to go to learn more. We do a lot of orientation flights. We do a lot of hands-on lessons. There's a ton of stuff. We do have a big cadet program. We do a big mission and emergency services program here at Civil Air Patrol. So if you've heard of Civil Air Patrol, you want to learn more, go visit gocivilairpatrol.com. Yes, we have a Twitch channel. So There's that doesn't get populated too much inside of Civil Air Patrol for certain reasons. But yeah, there is actually a Twitch channel. All right. So with that, I am going to wrap it up. I hope you all had a great time. I'll see, Alina, I see your message here. Who do we email? You email Captain Mercer. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Bats, for responding back to Alina. I will stay after we wrap up here. I'm going to stay online for about another 5 minutes or so, responding to chat messages. Other than that, I hope you all have a great night, and we will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.